It was one of those rare evenings when Elon Musk found himself walking through the streets of downtown Los Angeles without a team or an agenda. The city buzzed around him. Street performers, vendors, and people rushing in every direction. The cool evening air carried the faint aroma of roasted chestnuts from a nearby cart. But Musk wasn't paying attention. His mind, as usual, was lost in a whirlwind of thoughts about rocket launches, sustainable energy, and the future of artificial intelligence. As he passed a small tech store, something caught his eye. A teenage girl, no older than 16 or 17, sat cross-legged on the sidewalk near the store window. Her clothes were worn and frayed, her sneakers too big for her feet, and her unkempt hair hid part of her face. Yet, despite her disheveled appearance, she was focused, intensely focused on something. In her hand was a small stick, and she was sketching intricate designs in the dirt. Curious, Musk slowed his pace and watched her from a short distance. The lines she was drawing weren't random doodles. They were precise, calculated shapes, diagrams of some sort. After a moment of hesitation, he approached her. "What are you working on?" he asked, his voice calm but laced with genuine curiosity. The girl flinched slightly and looked up, her eyes meeting his. There was a mix of defiance and embarrassment in her gaze, but she didn't answer immediately. Instead, she covered her sketches with her hands, as if protecting a fragile secret. "It's nothing," she muttered, her voice barely audible. Musk crouched down to her level, ignoring the curious glances from passersby. "Doesn't look like nothing," he said, pointing to the faint lines in the dirt. "Those are schematics, aren't they?" The girl's eyes widened slightly. "You know what these are?" she asked, her tone shifting from guarded to intrigued. He nodded. "Looks like some kind of mechanical design. Did you come up with this yourself?" She hesitated, then nodded. "It's an idea I had, for a self-charging generator. But it's stupid," she added quickly, looking away. Musk's brow furrowed. "Stupid? That's ambitious for anyone, let alone someone your age. What's your name?" "Mia," she said after a pause. "Well, Mia, I'm Elon," he said with a small smile. "And I don't think it's stupid. Why aren't you working on it somewhere better than here?" He gestured to the cold, concrete sidewalk. Her expression darkened. "Because I don't have anywhere else. No tools. No school. Nothing." Her words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken pain. Musk's smile faded as he realized the depth of her situation. He looked at the faint sketches again, marveling at the ingenuity they hinted at. This wasn't just a bright teenager. This was someone with potential, a potential that could easily be lost. "Well, Mia," he said after a thoughtful pause, "how about some dinner? I'd like to hear more about your generator." She stared at him, unsure whether to trust the strange man in the suit. But something about his calm demeanor and the way he spoke to her, not down to her, made her nod. "Okay." As they stood up, Musk glanced back at the dirt sketches, committing them to memory. What he didn't know was that this simple encounter would mark the beginning of a journey that would change both their lives forever. Mia sat stiffly in the passenger seat of Elon's sleek Tesla, clutching a small backpack that contained everything she owned. The city lights blurred past as the car hummed along the streets, the silence inside thick with uncertainty. Mia glanced at Elon out of the corner of her eye, still trying to make sense of why this stranger, a billionaire she'd only seen in the news, had decided to help her. She wasn't sure if this was some kind of prank or if she was dreaming. "Are you hungry?" Elon asked, breaking the silence. Yeah," Mia replied, her voice barely above a whisper. She hadn't eaten all day, but admitting it felt like admitting defeat. "Great," he said, pulling into a diner. "Let's start there." The diner was quiet, with only a few patrons scattered at the booths. They slid into a corner seat, and Elon handed her the menu. "Order whatever you want." Mia hesitated, scanning the options. It had been months since she'd eaten a proper meal. "Just a burger and fries," she said finally, trying to downplay her hunger. "And a milkshake," Elon added, gesturing to the waiter. "You can't skip the milkshake. It's the best part." As they waited for their food, Elon leaned forward. "Mia, I'm not going to pretend I understand what you've been through, but I see something in you. That design in the dirt wasn't just random. It was creative, thoughtful. That kind of potential shouldn't be wasted." She shifted uncomfortably in her seat. I don't need a lecture. He chuckled softly. Not a lecture, a proposal. You said you don't have tools or a place to work. I can help with that. Get you access to education, materials, and mentors. But you'll have to put in the effort. Mia looked at him skeptically. Why would you do that? You don't even know me. Because someone once helped me when I was lost, Elon said simply. And because the world needs more people who think like you. Before she could respond, the food arrived. The aroma of the burger and fries was overwhelming. And for a few moments, Mia focused on eating, her skepticism momentarily pushed aside. As she took her first sip of the milkshake, she glanced up at Elon. It's good, she admitted. Told you, he said with a grin. So, what do you say? Are you willing to take a chance on yourself? Mia stared at him, the weight of the offer sinking in. For years, she'd been in survival mode, unable to think beyond her next meal or safe place to sleep. Now, someone was offering her a lifeline, a way out. It felt too good to be true. What's the catch? She asked, narrowing her eyes. No catch, Elon replied. Just a commitment to work hard and make the most of the opportunities you're given. Mia hesitated, then nodded slowly. Okay, I'll try. That's all I needed to hear, Elon said, smiling. Now, let's get you set up. Over the next few days, Elon arranged for Mia to stay in a modest but comfortable apartment, stocked with everything she needed. He connected her with a scholarship-based tech school and provided her with a laptop, notebooks, and an endless supply of encouragement. For the first time in years, Mia felt a glimmer of hope, not just for survival, but for a future worth fighting for. Mia's first day at the tech school felt like stepping into another world. The pristine labs, high-end computers, and whiteboards filled with equations made her both excited and intimidated. For years, she had been out of school, and now, surrounded by sharp, ambitious students, she feared she wouldn't measure up. But Elon's words echoed in her mind. The world needs more people who think like you. It was enough to push her forward. The school wasn't just about academics. It was a hands-on environment where students were encouraged to innovate. Mia dove into every opportunity, staying late in the lab to experiment with circuits and coding. Her curiosity, once limited to sketching ideas in the dirt, now had tools and space to grow. But it wasn't without its challenges. The first major hurdle came during a group project. Mia's team was tasked with creating a prototype for a sustainable energy solution, but her unconventional ideas were dismissed by her peers. That won't work, one of them scoffed, rolling their eyes as Mia suggested integrating kinetic energy into their design. Her cheeks flushed with frustration. Why not? We could make it more efficient if. Just stick to your part, another said, cutting her off. Feeling defeated, Mia confided in Elon during one of their mentorship sessions. They had established a routine of meeting weekly, where she would update him on her progress, ask for advice, and sometimes just vent. They don't listen to me, she said, slumping in her chair at the Tesla campus, where they often met. I feel like I'm out of my league. Elon leaned back, his expression thoughtful. Do you know how many people told me Tesla would fail? Or that reusable rockets were a pipe dream? Mia looked up. What did you do? I proved them wrong, he said simply. Here's the thing. People resist ideas that challenge their way of thinking. It's not your job to convince them with words. Convince them with results. Inspired by his advice, Mia stayed late in the lab every night, building a small prototype of her kinetic energy idea. Using scraps and discarded parts, she created a rudimentary but functional model. On the day of the presentation, she unveiled it to the group. The miniature device generated energy from movement, lighting up a small bulb. Her team was stunned. Wait, you built this? Mia nodded. It's what I was trying to explain. We can scale it up for the project. The group quickly rallied behind her idea, and their project won first place in the school's innovation showcase. For the first time, Mia felt the thrill of not just being heard but respected. As weeks turned into months, Mia grew bolder. Elon encouraged her to pursue her own projects outside of school. One of her earliest inventions was a portable solar-powered charger designed for low-income families. A device inspired by her own struggles living on the street. When she showed it to Elon, he couldn't hide his pride. This, he said, holding the small device, is exactly what I was talking about. You're not just solving problems. You're creating solutions for the people who need them most. The mentorship sessions became a highlight of Mia's life. Elon didn't just teach her about technology. He taught her about resilience, creativity, and thinking beyond conventional boundaries. He shared stories of his own failures and successes, making her realize that even the most accomplished people had to overcome obstacles. By the end of the first year, Mia wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. She had gone from a homeless teenager drawing in the dirt to a budding innovator with a growing portfolio of ideas. And while she still had a long way to go, she knew one thing for certain. Elon had given her more than just tools and guidance. He had given her the confidence to believe in herself. Mia's newfound confidence in academic success didn't mean her path was without obstacles. If anything, her journey became even more challenging as she delved deeper into her education and the world of innovation. The road to building her dreams was fraught with setbacks, doubts, and moments where she questioned everything. The first major challenge came during her second year at the tech school. As part of an advanced project, Mia decided to develop a portable water purification device, inspired by her own struggles to access clean water while living on the streets. She envisioned a compact, affordable unit powered by renewable energy, capable of providing clean drinking water to underserved communities. It was an ambitious idea, perhaps too ambitious for someone still learning the intricacies of engineering and design. Her first prototype was a disaster. The device leaked, the filtration process was inefficient, and the solar power mechanism barely worked. After weeks of late nights in the lab, she watched in frustration as the machine sputtered and failed during a demonstration. "This is impossible," she muttered, slamming her tools down on the workbench. What was I thinking? Her professor, though impressed by her determination, gently suggested she scale back her ambitions. "You're trying to tackle a big problem, Mia. Maybe start with something simpler." The words stung. That night, she sat in her small apartment, staring at the broken prototype on her desk. Doubts crept in like shadows, whispering that she didn't belong in this world of innovation. Her mind wandered to the streets she had come from, where survival had been her only focus. Was she really cut out for this? Maybe she was just a dreamer with no real talent. The next morning, Mia decided to skip class and met Elon instead. She arrived at his office, her shoulders slumped and eyes downcast. "I think I've hit a wall," she confessed, placing the faulty device on his desk. "Maybe everyone's right. Maybe I'm not ready for this." Elon studied the device for a moment, then looked at her with a faint smile. "You know, I once tried to build a rocket that exploded before it even left the ground. A $30 million explosion. To be exact." Mia blinked. "And you kept going?" "Of course. Because failure isn't the end, it's data. Every mistake teaches you something. The only real failure is giving up." His words reignited a flicker of hope. With renewed determination, Mia returned to the lab, this time breaking her project into smaller, more manageable steps. She researched tirelessly, sought advice from peers and mentors, and even reached out to experts online for guidance. Slowly but surely, the device began to take shape. But challenges weren't limited to her projects. Mia also faced societal barriers. Some students, learning about her past, whispered behind her back. "She's just a charity case," they'd say. Others doubted her abilities outright, believing her success was due to Elon's influence rather than her own talent. Instead of confronting them, Mia let their words fuel her. She worked harder, spending countless hours perfecting her designs. When her water purification device finally worked, a sleek, portable unit that could purify a liter of water in under 5 minutes, she submitted it to an international competition. Her innovation won third place, earning her recognition and a small grant to further develop the idea. The victory wasn't just about the award. It was about proving to herself and everyone else that she belonged. It was a reminder that perseverance, even in the face of failure and doubt, was her greatest strength. By the end of the year, Mia's reputation as a determined, creative problem solver began to overshadow the whispers about her past. She had faced her challenges head-on and emerged stronger, with a deeper understanding of both her craft and her own resilience. For the first time, she truly believed, "I can do this." Years passed, And Mia's journey from a homeless teenager to a budding innovator evolved into a story of extraordinary resilience and vision. By her mid-20s, she had graduated with top honors from the tech school, had several patents under her name, and was well on her way to building something much larger than herself. Mia's defining project, a portable solar-powered water purifier, had been refined and scaled with the help of grants, partnerships, and endless late-night brainstorming sessions. The device, now named Pure Light, was a game-changer for remote and underserved communities. It was small, affordable, and efficient, capable of purifying water using minimal resources. The idea had grown far beyond its humble beginnings in the school lab. Nonprofits, governments, and private donors rallied behind her vision, and soon, Pure Light devices were being distributed worldwide. Despite her success, Mia remained grounded. She remembered the nights she spent on the streets, rationing sips of water and dreaming of a future where no one had to struggle the way she had. Those memories became the driving force behind her mission, to make technology accessible to those who needed it most. Her next bold step was founding Illuminate, a tech startup dedicated to developing innovative solutions for marginalized communities. Unlike many companies focused solely on profit, Mia structured Illuminate as a social enterprise, ensuring that its products were affordable and its profits reinvested into expanding the company's reach. The startup began with a small team, most of whom were young engineers and innovators from disadvantaged backgrounds. Mia believed in giving others the same opportunity she had been given, and her company became a beacon for talented individuals looking for a chance to make a difference. But building a company from the ground up wasn't without challenges. Mia faced skepticism from investors who doubted the profitability of a socially driven model. Charity work doesn't build unicorns, one venture capitalist sneered during a pitch meeting. Mia stood her ground. This isn't charity, it's impact. And impact is scalable. Her determination paid off. Slowly, investors who shared her vision joined her cause, recognizing the potential of merging technology and social responsibility. With their support, Illuminate grew rapidly, introducing groundbreaking technologies like low-cost solar panels and modular housing kits for disaster-stricken areas. Every project was a reflection of Mia's belief that innovation should serve humanity. As her work gained global recognition, Mia found herself on stages she'd never imagined, speaking at conferences, receiving awards, and even being featured in major publications. Despite the accolades, she remained deeply connected to her roots. She often visited the communities her devices served, listening to the stories of people whose lives had been changed by her work. One day, while visiting a remote village in Africa where Pure Light devices had been installed, Mia watched as children drank clean water from a nearby river for the first time in years. Tears welled in her eyes as she realized the magnitude of what she'd accomplished. This was her legacy, a tangible impact on the world, born from her struggles and fueled by her determination to create a better future. Behind it all, Mia never forgot the man who had believed in her when no one else did. Elon Musk's mentorship had been the spark that lit the fire of her dreams, and every step of her journey carried his influence. As she prepared to unveil her company's new headquarters, a state-of-the-art facility in Silicon Valley, Mia decided to honor that legacy. She sent a special invitation to Elon, not telling him what she had planned, but knowing it was time to show him just how far his kindness had taken her. Mia had built more than just devices or a company. She had built a legacy, one that would ripple across generations, changing countless lives. And it all started with a conversation on a cold sidewalk. The day of Illuminate's headquarters launch was a moment Mia had dreamed of for years. The sprawling, solar-powered building in the heart of Silicon Valley was a testament to her journey, embodying the mission that had driven her since her days on the streets. A crowd of reporters, investors, engineers, and community leaders gathered in the glass-walled auditorium, eager to witness the unveiling of Mia's next big innovation. Among the guests was a reserved figure, sitting quietly near the back, Elon Musk. He had accepted Mia's invitation, intrigued but unaware of the true significance of the event. He glanced around the room, impressed by the scale and sophistication of the operation. It was clear to him that Illuminate wasn't just another tech startup. It was a force for global change. As the event began, Mia took the stage. Dressed in a simple yet elegant suit, she exuded confidence, but her voice carried an undertone of emotion. She welcomed the audience and shared her vision for Illuminate's future, emphasizing the importance of technology as a tool for empowering those in need. But as her speech progressed, she paused, her voice trembling slightly. Today is more than just the launch of a building or a company, she began, looking out over the crowd. Today is about the journey that brought me here. And it's a journey I couldn't have taken alone. The audience grew silent, sensing a shift in the tone of her words. Years ago, she continued, I was a homeless teenager sitting on a sidewalk, sketching ideas in the dirt. I had nothing, no home, no family, and no hope. But on that day, someone saw me. He didn't just see a struggling girl, he saw potential. He gave me a chance when no one else would. She paused, taking a deep breath. That someone is here today. The crowd murmured in confusion, then turned as Mia's gaze shifted toward the back of the room. Elon Musk, caught off guard, straightened in his seat as all eyes fell on him. Mia's face softened with a mix of gratitude and emotion. Mr. Musk, she said, her voice steady now, you didn't just change my life. You gave me the tools to change the lives of so many others. This building, this company, this mission, it all started with your kindness. The room erupted in applause as Elon stood, visibly moved. He walked to the stage, his usually stoic expression replaced with a rare warmth. As he approached, Mia extended her hand, but he pulled her into an embrace instead. You did all of this, he said softly, his voice thick with emotion. I just gave you a nudge. Mia smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. You gave me more than that. You gave me hope. The two stood together as the audience rose to their feet, the applause growing louder. It wasn't just a celebration of Mia's achievements. It was a testament to the power of believing in someone, even when the odds are against them. As the event concluded, Elon and Mia sat together, reminiscing about that fateful encounter on the sidewalk. You know, Elon said with a chuckle, I thought I was helping you that day. Turns out you've helped me remember why I do what I do. Mia laughed. Well, I guess we've both done a little good in the world. And as they looked out over the bustling crowd, surrounded by the energy of innovation and purpose, it was clear that this was more than just the end of a story. It was the beginning of a legacy that would continue to ripple across generations, proving that a single act of kindness could transform the world.